Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Travel with Mood Images TT. And before we go any further, please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be up to date with my travel videos, right? So today I'm just coming on to just round up my St. Lucia travel vlog series, and just to give you all my overall views of the hotel, the whole travel experience with COVID, travel protocols with St. Lucia, etc. Right? So basically I'm gonna start with the travel protocols for St. Lucia. So before you enter St. Lucia, you need to take a PCR test, right? And make sure that it's negative. So with the PCR test, it could be done no more than 5 days before you arrive. Now, a lot of countries ask for no more than 3 days, 2 days, whatever. St. Lucia is no more than 5 days, right? Now, before you do all of that, you can always go up to the St. Lucia website. I'll link it down in the description. And it gives you basically everything, a ball by ball of what you need to get done before you arrive to St. Lucia. So what happened is we took this at no more than 5 days. So I was leaving on the 24th of September, which is Republic Day, and I took my test on the Monday. So the 24th was a Friday, so I took my test on the Monday. Now they give you a diagram of how and when it could take a test no earlier than, etc. So I decided before work I would go and take my test on the Monday. So I took my test on the Monday, and then I went and I did it at Victoria Labs in San Fernando. The cost was very expensive, $1,100. However, I mean, it was worth it. And I did the test like 7:45 in the morning because they have a stipulated time. Now they have a drive-through COVID testing facility. I got my results around 2 o'clock that set day, right? So after getting your results, you need to go to the website and start doing your travel authorization form. Right? Now, you're not going to get authorization if it is you do not have that COVID test uploaded, as well as you need to have the confirmation of your hotel and the confirmation of your flight. So you need to do all those things before you get to St. Lucia and before you get authorization. Now, as long as you have all those things, authorization can happen either the same day, depending on when you do it, or the following day. So when I uploaded my test, I got my authorization because I didn't upload the same day. I uploaded it the Tuesday, and by the Wednesday I had my authorization, right? They also, when you get your authorization, they give you a travel head form to print and fill out. You print it, you fill it out, and you have that with you, right? Now the COVID test results comes in your email, so you need to print that as well. Now, a lot of people say that, they use your phone and whatever, but I probably just old-timeish. I like to have everything printed out. So literally have everything printed out and copies of everything. So I have copies of the immunization card, the international immunization card, passport, travel authorization, COVID test. Just print everything and have it there because things happen. So, suppose you have no data on your phone. Suppose your phone died, things happen. So basically that is it for travel authorization to travel to St. Lucia. Now, basically as we had all those things printed out, it was easy peasy when we reached the airport. We did our web check-in. You could do that no more than 48 hours before your travel. So we did our web check-in, we chose our seats, we added bags. No, we didn't need to add bags, but you could add bags as well doing your web check-in. When we got there, it was basically to hand them our travel authorization and our negative COVID test, and that was it. Gave us our boarding pass, and that was it. Now when we left, it did not have anywhere open downstairs in the airport to get anything to eat, and it was quite early because now they ask you to come no more than 4 days before, no 4 days, sorry, my bad, no more than 4 hours before your flight. Now 4 hours seems like a real ridiculous time. I find 3 hours was ridiculous, but I mean, we made use of it because in case if we had forgotten anything home, at least we could have go back home and get it before the flight. So we went upstairs, we got rituals to eat and coffee and whatnot, and we waited. So that process in the airport was pretty simple for us. We had no problems. And yeah, when we got to St. Lucia, now we entered at St. Lucia's domestic airport. So they have two airports, a domestic and an international. The domestic, I can't remember the name, George something was the name of it. So that's the really small airport. So we got there and it was a wait. And we literally we sat on the second row, which is to the front of the plane. However, because Caribbean Airlines used one of those Tobago planes to fly to St. Lucia, yes, a Tobago plane, which is 4 in a row, and there's no detachment system from the airport, we were at the last row to come off the plane, basically. So if you sat at the last row on the plane, you were first to come off because they go row by row. And if you were in the first set of rows on the plane, you were the last to come out. So me and my mom were literally last to come off the plane. So being that, before you actually enter St. Lucia, you have to go through a health screening. Now the health screening is nothing overkill. It's just basically to check your documents to make sure everything is legit. So that's why I say make sure and have everything printed out, because next thing you know, you get to St. Lucia and your phone dead. What you gonna do? Right? So we had everything printed out. That process, was easy and it was short. However, the process to get to that process, which is stand up outside in the hot, well, not in the hot sun, but under a heated shade, was basically very long, because we probably waited almost 2 hours. So we waited almost 2 hours to get there. But when we got there, immigration was pretty simple, because the airport is pretty small, so there's nothing really to talk about. But again, we met our tour guide and driver, Skeeter, and her driver, Bernard. So that's basically it. The whole process wasn't that bad. You just had to make sure you have everything in place for when you get there. The hotel. So before I go any further, St. Lucia was on a curfew for the weekend to help curb COVID-19, right? So their curfew actually you could have stayed out the Friday. This Saturday, their curfew started at 4 p.m. and went until Monday 4 a.m. So literally you needed to be inside by 4 p.m. on Saturday, and then inside whole day Sunday, and then you come out from Monday. Now I honestly thought it might have affected the whole hotel situation, but I was quite amazed to know that the whole hotel functioned like there weren't any curfew. Right? The only well, anyway, before we get there, I'm just gonna give you an overall overview of my experience at the hotel. So Marigo Bay initially, I'm being quite honest with you, right? In looking through hotels and stuff, they weren't really my first pick. Obviously, one, because they are very high in price. They're probably one of the most expensive hotels that have there. Well, one up because they have the sandals, they have Jade Mountain and stuff that are way more expensive. However, Marigo Bay is an expensive hotel for the average. I ain't lying to tell you. So they really want a topic. And then, in watching the pictures and stuff online, the pictures and things, it's pretty and nice, but I don't think it really sells the property, because I think the property have a lot to offer with respect to service and stuff like that. So it really wasn't that first pick. When I got the opportunity, I said, well, in getting the opportunity to stay there, and I'm being transparent to her for free, I was like, well, why not? Because it will be a different experience, you know? Because a lot of people, or a lot of my clients, because I'm a travel agent, as you all know, a lot of my clients I send to basically 3 or 4 hotels in St. Lucia. Is at the Sandals, Royalton, Bay Gardens, Coconut Bay, and 5 Cocoa Palm. So like those 5 hotels are always the ones that I recommend for my clients, more or less. I don't really recommend Marigot Bay because they're kind of expensive, you know. But trust me, I will be recommending them after this trip. So the pictures and things don't really do justice. In getting there, I was really amazed. The facilities is beautiful. It's well kept. It's clean. It's really nice. You know, the service was top notch. Not to mention, like, at least 2 weeks before, like literally every day I used to get emails, counting down my trip, asking about any dietary needs, any special services, if I need, like, let's say wine or balloons in the room, or like if I need to book tours, if I need to book my COVID test. Oh, that's another story, right? If I need to book my COVID test, basically every day was an email following up to my trip. After a while, like after the first 3 minutes, I was like, why these people emailing me that much, Jen? Like, oh gosh, like we can't just deal with that when we reach. But then I understood, because they want to make sure that they have everything on point for when I reach. You know, it's not like I now reach and I'm trying to figure out, well, I wonder what she want to do and what. So like I kind of understood when I got there, right? So like every day was an email for like the 2 weeks before my trip, and I was like, but then I understand now. When we got there, as I said, the facilities was clean. They take your bags. Like a matter of fact, before we even got there, my phone was ringing. Hi, this is from Marigot Bay. I'm just calling to find out what time you're arriving on the property and stuff like that. And I was shocked because no hotel never really called me to ask me what time I'm arriving on the property, because I told them I'm coming. And yeah, because what happened is, before we got there, we went on a little mini tour to the furthest point in St. Lucia to see Martinique, because Martinique is not too far away. So we went to the furthest point in St. Lucia to view the views and stuff like that. So we actually reached in the hotel pretty late, like around after 5, yeah. So they called because I guess they saw the time and they asked for flight details, so they would have known I reached since in the morning. So yeah, so that was that. They have 3 restaurants on the compound. Rum Cave, can't remember the rest of the names. I'll probably put it down. But Rum Cave was one I remember, because that one was probably that was the best one. The food was really good. Like, y'all, the food was good, and the servings, you know. When I tell you those servings, it looks like a little bit of food, but it actually was a balanced meal and very hefty. Like, by the time you eat your appetizers, it's like you full already. You can't even eat your hors d'oeuvres. Like, one night my mom ordered a salad, a sweet potato salad. So it's like she couldn't even eat her dinner itself, because the sweet potato salad was in a big bowl, like a soup bowl. You know, there's big soup bowls. That's what it came in. And that was appetizer. So you can imagine. One thing I would say though, like, they are very big on healthy foods, because, well, from my opinion, because there weren't anything fried on the menu. They only had one fried item, and that was fries. There was no fried chicken. There was no fried fish. There was no fried grits, nothing. Only thing fried was fries. I went on vacation. I love to order wings. So I ordered the wings because I like wings. I got grilled wings. I did not get fried wings dipped in a sauce. Now people might say I'm crazy, but I just like, you know, when you're on vacation, if you're on a diet, you know, and you decide to go on vacation, some people like to, you know, stick with their diet. Now this hotel, if you're not there, trust me, you will never go off course with this hotel because their stuff are really good. And they have stuff for people with all kind of dietary restrictions and pescatarian, vegetarian, all these Tyrians that don't eat meat and these kind of things. They have everything to cover, right? But I'm not on a diet. I want some fried foods. Give me a fried wings, man. I want fried fish. But that's my only complaint when the food is concerned. You might say, Sinja, crazy, but that's just me, you know. But the fries, I must say, like, you ever taste fries and it didn't even taste like it was fried? That was exactly how it was. There was no dripping of oil. There was no after bad taste of the oil. Like when you buy some KFC sometimes, there was nothing oily about it. It was like if it was baked fries. Who knows, it probably baked. I don't know. But they had really good food options, like, and the food was hefty, like really, really hefty. It was great. Breakfast was hefty. Like, I appreciated the fact that they did not have a buffet. Although I like buffets because of the fact that they are, you get more options. However, what I would say is that they were not short of options with the menu of thing. No, they had set menus that you could order from. So like they had English breakfast, local something, different names they had. But the stuff you get in it is like you could pick out and choose, okay, I want this, I want that. You don't have to really stick with it. Or you could just say, okay, I want some pancakes, eggs, and bacon, normal American stuff. Or you could say, well, I want a croissant, a cheese, and ham. And you could have choose stuff, right? However, you know, I mean, if you really look, the options that you get, there are a lot of options there. However, I mean, some people prefer buffets. Quite frankly, I didn't mind. It wasn't buffet because at least I literally got to try almost everything they had on the breakfast menu. Literally. So that was not a problem for me. But I mean, it may become monotonous for some because remember, if you stay in longer than 4 days, 3 nights, you actually may get fed up after maybe like the 50 or something. Seeing that so that was for the food. The food was good. The food was really hefty, as well as I mentioned before. What I liked about the staff is that they recommend stuff for you. And one thing I must note is that the staff members know their stuff. You know, sometimes you go somewhere and it's like, okay, so what's good on the menu? Well, I don't know, you know, one thing, you know, that kind of vibes, no. Like, there was one staff member at the Rum Cave, big up Dave. Dave, you are the boss. Dave literally told us he cooks and he's a chef, he's a bartender, he's a waiter, he does everything. He's a jack of all trades. And he literally recommended stuff for us. He said because he made it, and then, well, he also mentioned that when his shift is over, when the place closed up, he would be going to eat that. And that was actually the lobster risotto on the last night. So my mom had the lobster risotto. I didn't have it. I really wasn't feeling for the pasta. So yeah. Also on the Saturday, because remember I said they had a curfew, right? So we came back about 3 something from our tour. The tour was really good. So, well, you always have saw that video before. When we came back, we actually were we weren't that hungry per se, but I was like, let's get something, and I proceeded to order. What did I order, boy? Oh, I was about to order a pizza and then some other thing, and the server at the moment, she was like, you know, fine, you're having dinner just now, right? There's a lot of food you're ordering, so she suggests that we order something less because dinner was like was after 3, so dinner would have been about 2 to 3 hours after. So I was like, sure, but I ordered so much because I know sometimes like those hours the portions are not big, but she kind of said, well, you know, the portions are really big. So and it's true, because we ordered pizza It was pizza and a burger or pizza and some other thing. Can't remember exactly. And we ordered that on the last day because we didn't do anything the last day. And the pizza was actually really hefty. Like between my mom and I, we couldn't even eat the whole thing. And it was not as big as a large pizza in Trinidad. It was like in between small and a medium pizza. No, not small. It would have been in between medium and a... Could have been between the small and a medium. So, all of you in the restaurant, you don't need to wear it because, you know, you're going to the pool, or you're going to eat something, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? Now, they had times that while walking from my room, which was like the top floor, down to the restaurant or the pool, and I did not have my mask on, and the hotel, they really were not like, okay, put on your mask, that kind of thing. However, I'm not going to say to you all, do not walk around with your mask, not walk around your mask. Make sure and mask up. It was my fault that I did not do it at the point in time. However, when I realized that I didn't have it on, I put it on, right? Especially knowing that, you know, I have to enter the restaurant and stuff like that. But they're not like, you know, telling people to don't do it and stuff like that. When you go, just use the discretion because we don't want them to say them Chinese too unruly and all kind of thing. Plus, the hotel is a big hotel. And it was not even 50% capacity. It was literally empty. Like the day we arrived, it had a wedding that same day. That was the 24th. And then as the days went by, more people left the resort. So it was like less and less. So, you know, that was that. The service is top of the line. I will give them a 5-star if you ask me. The people actually, the waiters, the servers, the staff members, they take their time to get to know what this individual likes from what they don't like. And I only stayed there for like 4 days, 3 nights. Because we went to the rum cave on the second night of dinner. And we ordered the garlic shrimp. That garlic shrimp was heavenly. And when we went back on the last night, the waiter was like, are y'all ordering the garlic shrimp again? You know, that kind of thing. And he was like, yeah. Made the recommendations. If you order something, they keep that in the back of their mind and they, you know, ask you if you're doing it the next day or whatnot. You may or may not, who knows. You know, also, as I said, St. Lucia was on curfew. So I asked them, I said, out of curiosity, I asked, so since you're all on curfew, you know, what would be your position, seeing that you're still here? Right? It's like, well, first we can have a pass, which I expected, yes. However, I was asking, well, okay, well, what time you'll leave? What time you'll get off work? That kind of thing. He said, well, basically, whatever time you all as you guys leave. So I was like, well, how you mean? I said, so if you mean, okay, if we decide to lime until 2 o'clock in the morning, you all will close up shop and thing? He's like, no, if you all want to leave 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when we will close up shop. Well, obviously after 2 o'clock. And I was sitting like amazed because I know here in Trinidad, if they say 2 o'clock is closing time, by the time 12:30, they might start to take off lights. Music cut off, drinks done, bar close up tight, and things. So I'm amazed to know, well, you know, you're on curfew. Hotel operating as normal, you know, it's not affecting the facilities and whatever. And whatever time I decide to leave, I could leave. And guys will not let go leave. Nobody ain't gonna be running me home. I'm amazed. I also got a video from one of the waiters. Her name is Zena. Big up Zena. Big up Dave. And I'll insert it so you all could see. But the way that they treat their customers, their guests, you can tell that they treat them with love and care. Zena basically said that she has been working there for quite some time and she has been treated excellent. So you all know when you all go there, you're getting some top-notch service. It's not no fly-by-night business. So you all will see the video. Basically, I'll add that in so you all could see.
Almost 5 years working here, and I must say I enjoy working here. I love what I do also. Also, our owners treat us very well, I must say. and I do appreciate the fact that I'm here, and I'm one of the few that have been selected to continue the journey of being part of this team. So I must say it's a pleasure, and once you're here and you look for me, definitely it will be fantastic. Your stay will be enjoyable, memorable, and everything put together.
And what is your name?
Xena, like Xena the warrior princess.
So y'all hear that? Look for Xena when you come and stay at Marigo Bay Resort and Spa. Thank you.
Story time. So we needed to get our COVID test to come back. Now the plan initially was when we get to St. Lucia, we will do it one time because they said no more than 72 hours before you come back. Now 72 hours, I have gotten so many different opinions. I have to call it opinions because like nobody seems to get it right. So many opinions of when I should take a COVID test. So I had called Caribbean Airlines before. Well, actually no. When I was booking my ticket or changing my ticket, I asked them, when should I take the COVID test? When does the 72 hours start? One person said, now I went on 2 different occasions, right? One person said 72 hours is like you're counting in the day of your travel as one day or 24 hours. So that means 2 days before your flight. Another woman said 72 hours is actually 3 days before your flight. So it was like all kind of craziness, right? So 3 days before my flight would have been on the 24th, right? 2 days would have been on the 25th. So when I went to the airport on the 24th to check in, whatever, my bags, whatever, I asked the man by the counter, the individual by the counter, I said, so I'm thinking of taking my test today. What do you advise? Right? I said, because is 72 hours 3 days before, or is it 2 days before, including the day of travel, which would be the 24th hour? He said, well, it's 3 days before. Right? He said, but he would advise that I take the test on the Saturday. Right? I said, okay, no problem. Ideally, because St. Lucia was on a curfew, the better day to take the test was actually the Friday when I got there, because the curfew, remember, they're not operating as normal. The curfew would have affected that. So I did. When I reached there, I spoke to my driver and tour guide. She said, well, you're gonna do the PCR test today? I was like, well, no, they say in Caribbean Airlines, do it tomorrow, which is the Saturday. Now, we passed in front the health center about twice to get the test done. So we passed in front the health center to get the test done. We didn't bother. She said, you sure? I say yes. They said, do it tomorrow. So okay, no problem. Passed in front the health center twice. So I remember speaking to someone who recently went, and they told me that they got their test done at Sufre, right? So in the health center. So I was like, okay. So I told the tour guide, I said, well, what we could do before we go on any tour, we could get the test done first thing in the morning when we go to Sufre, because we had to go Sufre anyway, right? She said, okay, no problem. Rachel, so she's like, she found a lab that could get it done. So we go and do it there. She said she gave me the price, I think it was 120, whatever. I said, okay, cool. Got up the Saturday morning, head on over to Sufre. Reach in front of the lab is closed. So we like headless checking on what to do, because remember it have a curfew. So she called a few people and asked them if the health center in Sufre does it. They say no, not for visitors, only health persons, whatever, whatever. I say okay, fine. I say, but I know that's what the girl tell me. She gets she test done at Sufre in the hospital or the health center or wherever, the medical facility. So she called up a doctor and she asked the doctor, well, she got a number and whatever, and she called some doctor, and the doctor said, well, he could do it. But he left Sufre for the day and is heading to Castries. So she asked, well, what time you leaving Castries? He said, he will be there for most of the day. He said, okay. She said, well, we're going on a tour, and when we're coming back, we'll call you. No problem. So we went to do our tour, wherever. And coming back now, she called him. She's like, hi, we now leaving Sufre, coming to Castries. You know, where you located, whatever, or if it's still there, whatever. He say yes, he's still there. Call him when you all reach some particular area, right? Can't remember the area, but so I say, so before she hang up, I say, find out what it costs at West Portal. Find out what does it cost. She asked him, before I go, what does it cost? He said, we'll discuss it. Or no, did he say we'll discuss it? He said, what did he say? He said, I'll let you know, or something like that. But it was never a discussion. It was always, I will let you know. So my mind is saying, well, okay, let me wait to hear what he say. So when we reached the location where he told us to call, she called. And he was like, well, I'm in Massey Stores car park, because they have Massey. I'm in Massey Stores car park, so you can meet me there, right? No problem. So we drove up to him, whatever, we met him. He told us to write our names on a piece of paper. We did that. Actually, no. He told us what is our names, right? I said, well, best I write it out for you, because my name is a funny name. It's not that funny, but people make it difficult. It's not that hard, right? But, you know, it will be easier. So when he eventually is like, just have my bag of paper, and he spell it out, whatever. So I see brother man start to put on gloves and thing. I say, well, okay. So I sit down there watching. So I turn to Skeeter and I say, well, Skeeter is my tour guide, by the way. I said, Skeeter, but this man didn't tell me what it costs, right? So then now she allowed him, excuse. Now he done setting up to take test and thing. He done take out the container, put on the gloves, write up tubing thing to put the little swab in. Don't do up thing. No money ain't talk yet. So she called him out and she's like, so but you didn't tell us what the cost. No, I can't remember what the cost was. But it was the effect that it was coming up to around 150 US. Whatever EC. I think it was 2 something EC. Which was equivalent to around 150 US. Now, considering what I paid in Trinidad, it's about the same thing. So he was like, one something, whatever. So I turned to my mom turned to him, to us, and we was talking, and we said, so I told Skeeter, I said, well, that kind of expensive. I said, and furthermore, I don't have that cash on me. Now, when we travel, we go with cash and credit cards, right? Now, the cash for us is more or less to pay the locals and stuff. And we had just bought stuff. So it's not that we didn't have the money to pay. We would not have had the cash on hand to pay him, right? So I said, well, okay, it's kind of expensive. Plus, we don't have that kind of cash on us. Now, if we didn't know what was the price, because we had to literally ask him what was the price, because he would have swabbed we and then expecting money. No, he would have gotten paid if he decided he would have taken PayPal or something. However, all in all, you didn't discuss no price with us, and we didn't discuss our way forward. It was just that, okay, you're doing this thing, and then you would have studied to call price on me. So we turn and we say, well, it's kind of expensive, plus we do have that cash on us, right? So we tell him, well, okay, well, we wouldn't really bother, because we don't have that cash on us. And okay, you don't already tell me last minute. So what, it didn't really have much options at this point. So we decided, well, okay, we wouldn't bother. So Skeeter turned and said, well, where we could go and get the test done now and stuff like that. He said, well, I don't know, Google it. So something shocks him, and it was only attitude. Now, I can't remember the man's name, but if you're watching this, that is all I have to say. You didn't know who I was, and you didn't know what business I could have brought to you. Right? Because you didn't bound to get on like that. Furthermore, if you're a man of business, you talk price first. And then COVID test after. Because if he did tell us that, we'd have tell him, okay, can we pay you through PayPal, and you'd have get show business. Plus, I'm a travel agent. People don't want to be leaving the vacation to go and get tested. I could have arranged for you to get more clients. But the way you act, it have nothing for you from me. So So you could stay right there. Anyway, moving on. So we called the hotel. The hotel was a lot more expensive, 185 US. A lot more than I paid in Trinidad. However, the convenience of getting it done there was much better. So we decided to get the test done at the hotel. And we got the results just before was time for us to leave, right? Just before it was time for us to leave, we get the results. We were able to enter it into the TT Travel Pass so that we could come home. TT Travel Pass is an instantaneous thing. As long as you're fully vaccinated, you just have to input your vaccination card, passport info, flight info, and your negative PCR test, and you'll get it right away. So you can do that a couple hours before your flight, you know, as long as you have your results. So basically, that was our vacation to St. Lucia. Will I do it again? Hell yes. St. Lucia is beautiful. The people are beautiful. The food is beautiful. You know, they are very tourist oriented. And I mean, they have so much more to see and to do. I'll definitely be back because I don't try to link up with my tour guide Skeeter so she could arrange for me to do some ATV right then. Little things other than that. What I must say though, I have to mention that sulfur spring, I will not be doing that again. Like my skin itched me like I after I came back and I bathed and I washed out the sulfur. Like I felt my legs were on fire. I don't know what it was, maybe I was allergic. So ain't getting me to do that again. I did it once and I done that. So yeah. I mean, for those going to St. Lucia, it's a nice experience, but I don't know, it just never really, like it didn't happen for me. But I mean, that's my experience. I'm not saying don't go and experience it for yourself. It's better to experience for yourself than to say somebody tell you. It might be better for you. So that's my experience. I will highly recommend Marigo Bay Resort and Spa because I mean they were spot on. If you have the extra to splurge, why not? You understand? Take the opportunity and go. And my only little part of Marigo I did not like is the constant stairs, because to get from point A to point B, because it's in the hills, well, not the hills, but it's in the hills to the valley kind of thing, because it's like a valley there, but you know, it's hilly still. You had to do some climbing upstairs. Did not like that part at all, and we were like on the top floor of the tallest hotel, villa, well not villa, but the tallest building. We were on the top floor, and the stairs was like really killing us. However, I must say that it's very good fitness, because after eating so much, you had to go up the stairs. So by the third day, it actually didn't feel that bad, because you know, you kind of started getting accustomed to it. But by that first day, ooh, Lord have mercy, it was terrible. So thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have a lot of travel stuff coming. And yeah, bye.